Welcome. If you're new to my channel, I'm Dr. Sandra Thibault. I am a clinical psychologist, and I have been teaching clients for 30 years to lower their stress. And what I have found is that there is stress that we can't avoid, and then there is stress that we can avoid. I want to talk about the stress that we can avoid. It's impossible to eliminate stress. But unnecessary stress, avoidable stress, it is imperative that we remove that from our lives. So where does this unnecessary stress even come from? It comes when we refuse to acknowledge reality. And that's natural. Maslow's first level in his hierarchy of needs is safety. And how does our brain create safety? It convinces us that we can predict the future. It creates a sense of safety in us by focusing on what's consistent, what's the same, and we assume that we know what's going to happen tomorrow, even though things happen all the time that we didn't expect. They just happen to be so small that, well, we don't care. But that's the point that we need to remember. Your brain looks for consistency because it makes us feel safe. If we had to face every day the fact that we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, it leaves us feeling unsure and anxious. So to relieve that feeling of anxiety, our brains convince us, well, no, there's a lot that we can predict. We know we're going to still be living in the same house tomorrow. Unless you're selling your house, you're going to be living in the same house. You're going to have the same car. You're going to have the same job. So our mind focuses on that. But if we focus too much on knowing exactly what's going to happen and not recognizing that there is a certain amount that we don't know, there is a certain amount that we cannot predict. If we don't recognize that, then we choose to live in an illusion. And resisting change creates unnecessary stress. That's what we need to remove. We need to learn to acknowledge that things could change at any moment, while still feeling comforted by the knowledge that, for the most part, we know what's going to happen. One way of approaching change is to see what's positive about it. Whenever something's new, different, unexpected, our minds automatically go on alert. Our fight or flight system gets activated in little bursts all the time. Whenever there's something that we didn't predict that is different from what we expected it to be, our fight or flight system just comes on alert, making sure that we're ready to meet that challenge. But then our minds come in and label the situation either as good or bad. What if you got into the habit of labeling it as good, and then your mind has no choice but to figure out why you're right? Your mind is always going to try to figure out why you're right. If you think this is going to be a crappy day, you're going to do a horrible job on an upcoming presentation, or you're going to get lost on the way somewhere, any kind of negative thought that you have, your mind is going to try to make you right. So what if you were to assume that there's something positive in a changed situation that's just for you? Use your mind to your advantage. Don't let it control you. This is what happens when people get anxiety attacks. Their mind just takes them on a runaway train. If you understand how your mind works, you can use it to your advantage. If you know that your mind is always going to try to make you right, then view change as a positive, and then make your mind look for all the things you would never notice if you had labeled the change as bad. It will happen. Your mind works for you if you train it to work for you. I hope you got a lot out of that tip. If you did, please give me some feedback by hitting the like button. And if you want to continue to see more tips that I offer to my clients in different situations, please hit the subscribe button and I will keep making these videos. Thank you so much. Have a great day.